He's supposed to let him catch that.
Right.
And Iron Man was giving it to both of their ass for a minute in that fight. I was rooting for him. I was like, and they got the best of him. I was kind of upset about that, like just because I felt like a nigga killed my parents, and then my new homie knows that the nigga did it, and not only did you not tell me, you not finna let this nigga catch his fate.
Man, that's like a catch-22, man. What do you do when you in between?
How far is enough? How long do you let him scrape it?
And this is my friend.
I think he knew it. I think Captain America knew if I let Tony do this, he's gonna kill him.
Yeah, he's not gonna stop. There was no point where Tony was finna stop.
No.
But you supposed to let Bucky catch that fade for it, like, bro.
I think he kind of, because I think...
Ain't none of your friends ever been in violation,
right.
and you was just like, I'm finna let him, if dude swing on him, I'm gonna let him get like 2-3 punches off.
During the fight, though, I think there was a couple times where maybe Captain America could have done something, but Bucky got a couple bing baps. Just kind of like...
like he swung that metal arm on his ass, and you know that shit hurts.
Right.
Like, without a doubt, that metal arm hurts. Like, he was fucking shit up.
I like the view that Captain America had, you know what I mean? Because you look at it, man, okay, yeah, my buddy was out there doing messed up stuff, but like, he wasn't in his right mind. I know this guy.
So it's like your friend being a drug addict.
Yeah, man, I know this guy, this stuff that's controlling him, this is not who he really is.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's the same thing why the Lord, like going back to the Bible, you know what I mean? Like, man, it's different when we were in our sins. We had no knowledge of the truth. You know what I mean?
Plausible deniability.
Once you get into the truth, you know what I mean, then it's different. You definitely held accountable for what you're doing. You know what I mean?
So, Tony gets no vengeance. That's the solution then? Because Bucky wasn't in his right mind, and he got told to kill Tony's parents. And now Tony finds out, and Bucky's still out here living life, thriving. How is Tony supposed to respond to this?
This is how you dealing with what they call the cup is half full, half empty. You know what I mean? Because it's like, he's not wrong. You know what I mean? He wasn't wrong for trying to take vengeance. You killed my parents. You know what I mean? You gotta put yourself in their shoes. I'll be trying to take vengeance. But at the same time, look at the other brother like, man, this is my friend, bro. He wasn't in his right mind. You know what I mean? So I don't see neither party as being wrong in that. You know what I mean? Which made it so enjoyable. You know what I mean?
What brought Cap back for me, and this is where I didn't, but like y'all talked about earlier, every time Iron Man called himself trying to save the world, they fuck a lot of shit up. And then like Ultron. All the shit, how they fucked up Sokovia, whatever it is, that was like a fake Eastern European country, right? They fucked up Sokovia, all them people died, and then that's the whole reason for the superhero initiative, that where all the superheroes got to register, and Iron Man was with it, and you would figure Cap would be with it, but he was completely against that shit, and he kind of bought himself some leeway with me, because I'm like, if I was a nigga with powers, I'm not registering with Uncle Sam. Get the fuck out of here.
Because that's weird. Like, what did Captain America see that made him want to change? Because now, if you remember in the beginning, when Iron Man was trying to tell him, well, your government is not right, man. Right. You know, they got secrets, and that's what he was talking to the Hulk. He was like, bro, your government, they secrets got secrets. You know what I mean? Right. And Captain America, like, what y'all talking about? And then that's when he went.
Well, this is naive. That's like that's the average American.
Right.
He's your average
poster child for.
Yeah, he's the poster. That's why I was saying. That's why he's the soul of America.
Right. You know? That's why I don't like him. The same reason I don't like Superman.
But that's why in that, like you said, that scene where he started waking up after that, right? Because I believe if it wasn't for him waking up, he probably wouldn't have gotten his buddies back. After
definitely.
You know, because he's like, well, wait a minute, there's more to this. Right. There's more to people. Exactly. There's more to society.
That's what made him so interesting.
I agree.
Man, bro, he went from one side to straight, like you say, he was just naive to, man, hold up, bro.
Your average American.
It's
a militia.
Now he signed with the government. Oh, Tony, Tony with the government.
Right.
So it's like,
which is crazy, because that's like all of Iron Man movies. Like, yeah, he sold weaponry to the government. And yeah, he partnered with them, but he was never giving them his research because he understands what they finna do with it. Right. And then when the black lady, I think it's Alfred Woodard, she come talk to him in the basement at MIT after he get that little speech, and he noticed that she hadn't pushed the button for the elevator yet, and then he look at her and she like, yeah, you know, my son, he died because y'all dropped a building on him in Sokovia, and he was over there doing fucking like missionary work or humanitarian work on his summer break and shit.
Tony was a thief too, man.
How was he a thief? I'm not saying he wasn't. I just
if you go through the stories, okay, well, where did he get the vibranium from? They stole it.
All vibranium is stolen. Pretty much.
That's what I'm saying. But hold on, in Iron Man 2, when he got into it with I think the guy was Russian or whatever, what he was saying.
The dude with the 2 whips.
Yeah, he's like, man, this was my father's.
Right.
That was my father's, and then y'all took it and y'all made millions, and we over here in jail suffering.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So everything he had was
well.
stolen.
So the core, right? The
thing that keeps him alive.
Yeah, the core. Yes,
right.
The core was his father's idea, but then it was interesting because his father had that idea already in that outline, that map that he had of the center, and with the trees, and he had it all done. So it's like the thought process of, well, he's actually the one that stole that from his father and perfected, like he saw it.
Tony's pop stole it.
Tony's pop perfected it, and was like, I just don't have the technology yet. But I'm gonna make this outline of it,
the blueprint.
So that way, once the blueprint,
when it's possible.
So when it's possible, you can just do that shit. But that's our history.
Yeah, it's American history, motherfucker.
A lot of messaging in these movies.
Absolutely.
Sure.
So with that being said, quarantine is bringing us to watch a lot of movies.
Quarantine is bringing us to watch a lot of movies. While we're on the topic, right? I saw somebody, I saw a meme, and it was something along the lines of, after this is all. Here's what it was. It was, I guess, some Russian model had said something along the lines of, I mean, fuck it, if coronavirus kills half the people on Earth, if we die, we die. Or whatever. She said something like that, and then there was a picture of Thanos, like, I like this bitch. So, what do you guys think about the concept of Thanos' logic? Now, obviously, what he was doing was wrong, but his logic with everywhere in the universe, right? There's starvation, there's war, there's poverty, there's this sense of famine, right? Where we don't have enough. And his whole logic is, if I kill half of all life at random, so it's even, it's equal, just as many rich people as poor people.
But that's why it doesn't make sense. Just because you take away half of the bad and half of the good, it still remains.
But it's not half the bad and half the good.
What was the point? He wanted to end all of that, right?
He wanted to create abundance. So if right now
but the quantity wasn't the problem, it's the nature. Right.
Exactly.
But that's what he was missing. That's where his flaw was. Right.
He didn't know humanity. He didn't take the time.
Right.
He saw everything as like an insignificant species.
Yeah.
He was almost looking at it like a capitalistic mindset.
Well, it was just numbers. It's
Yeah.
like, this is just numbers. This is math.
Right.
And I'm doing math right now. I'm trying to help y'all. And that's it.
I think the only thing I agree with him is the waste factor when he said we were very wasteful. You know what I mean? People just throwing out food and doing all this other stuff, you know what I mean? But as far as trying to kill half the population, well, life has always had a balance. You know what I mean? Same thing with animals. And animals are not above humans. People live, people die. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And there's places on Earth there's people not even living on right now. So how is it not enough room?
Yeah, I don't believe that at all.
Yeah.
The overpopulation shit. But I think that's a bullshit agenda that we could easily prove to be bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think maybe the cities. I can see cities being overly populated because everyone is moving. Everyone moves to the city.
If we choose not to build down.
But that's my point. So now, there's more buildings going up. There's more.
We could have entire cities a mile under us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
But there's not even a need for that, really. Like we spoke about this, I think, recently. You've got whole states that have a population the size of like a Chicago or a New York, a major city. So that's never an issue. You can always live somewhere else.
Do you want to go to Kansas, though?
If I have opportunity there, I don't know. Like, can I still do what I like to do and drive?
Good water in Kansas.
They got good water?
Yeah.
Good water.
The water is not as bad as everyone else's. I spoke to someone that actually tests the water for the city. And he stayed in Kansas, and he was like, yeah, we have some of the best water. I wondered, did he just say that because he was from there? But, you know, when he broke it down, it made a lot of sense. He's the reason that I actually stopped drinking faucet water, and then I noticed that my health went up, you know, a lot.
So I didn't understand when I was a child. Like my dad used to make us go to the store and buy like distilled water, and I would be pissed. And I remember people even telling me, "Why you buying distilled water? That's for fish tanks." And woo, you know you don't see. That's wild. You know you don't see on distilled bottles of water, like how you see on drinking water, minerals and shit added for flavor.
But it's like, but even the thought of it's for fish tanks, fish breathe water.
Right.
Therefore,
they
they're
live in
breathing
water.
the cleanest water.
Right.
Therefore, wouldn't you think that we should be drinking the cleanest water if fish are breathing the cleanest water?
Ideally, but I don't know, man. It sounds like you're
I
coming
figure
with
if we
logic.
take it back to right, if we take it back to the essence, right, we would have been drinking the water where the fish are swimming.
Right.
So
I mean, yeah, like freshwater lakes. There's
People are used to seeing us. You know?
Right.
They want. I want our viewers to see what a human Teddy Graham looks like. Smoke. So guys, this is another one of our weekly updates podcasts. Obviously, we were talking a little bit of Marvel, but you know, like Edwin was saying, you know, since we've been having this time down, we've been taking time to slow down and enjoy the things that we all enjoy, whether that be music for I, whether that be books and or different types of networking events online for Edwin. For me, I'm taking in all different types of content. I'm working on my editing skills, me personally, now that I have some downtime. What's your favorite stuff to do during the quarantine, Smoke?
Well, reading a lot, you know what I mean? You really don't get time to read when you're busy, when you're working and stuff like that. Video games, of course.
What
you know
you
what I mean? This is heavy. Madden, 2K, you know what I mean? So all my buddies are at home, so we're all able to play at the same time, which is pretty cool.
Your record going down now? Since everybody got more time.
It's actually going up. Okay. But I think the number one thing for me is family, man. You know what I mean? You figure, okay, so I have a young daughter, right? I don't really get to see her during the noontime. She's at daycare, you know what I mean? So now I get to spend that afternoon with her. I get to spend that day with her and really kick it with my kids and really, understand them a whole lot more. So I think it's a good time for people to really hang with their families, right now.
That's the truth.
I agree.
I like how you said you're understanding them a whole lot more. I think that's a big key for everyone because you don't realize how much we don't understand our own loved ones sometimes. So to stop and think about understanding the person that we're living with or sharing life with.
Yeah, you only get to see them a couple hours out of the day. You pick it up, come home, you
make
eat,
dinner,
watch a little TV, everybody go to sleep, and then
you
you keep repeating this stuff, and you never really get to talk your dialogue, really understand.
Yeah, slow it down,
You bring up a really good point, which begs the question for me. Do you guys think, depending on how long this stuff goes, people are really going to get a chance to find themselves, whether they want to or not, during this downtime?
There's nowhere to run.
Right. But a lot of times, and my dad made me realize this back when I was doing way heavier drinking. He told me I was running from myself. And to some degree, that was very true. And now, like you said, there's nowhere for people to run. Do you guys think that after this is all said and done, that people are going to find themselves maybe going out of their way to live and build the life that they actually want and not just be so complacent with, okay, I'm finna get up and go to work and X, Y, and Z, and fall into that routine cycle that you were talking about where you don't even really get to know your family because you're just working to survive.
Exactly.
And now that we have this downtime, I think that's gonna be a huge shift for a lot of us, like mentally.
Right.
What do you guys think? How do you guys envision it panning out?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, man. Based on history or based on society and what I've seen, I'm scared about that in particular because I feel as though people are gonna lose their sense of routine, and it's gonna be difficult for them to embrace or create their own routine because they've lost that sense of having routine. So I would suggest right now more than anything else, look up books about routines, look up books about what to do in the mornings or how to apply your passions in the morning and put 10 minutes into yourself. Because losing that routine, you get too complacent and comfortable with sleeping in, right? You get comfortable with saying, oh, well, I don't have to wake up early because I don't have to go to work.
Yeah.
And then work starts, and you're like, well, wait, I don't want to go to work, but then what are you doing for yourself, though? What have you added to your life? Because I've noticed that for me, where I added routine, and my body's aching, and I thought it was because I tweaked something. Remember I talked earlier, but the more I've thought about it, the more I just feel like I'm uncomfortable with creating a routine with myself that's pretty strict. So with that comes pain and comes different things that I've never experienced before, and thoughts that I haven't thought about before, and just a lot of undercover.
Yeah. Bringing it to the surface.
Life. Exactly. Bringing things that where I felt uncomfortable with before. 10 minutes of meditation daily. It's like
that sounds easy. That's not.
It's not
to sit in silence.
It's not.
What I like what you were saying though is like, I'm sorry. No. Just because you don't have that old routine doesn't mean you shouldn't be creating a new one for yourself and staying disciplined and forcing yourself to, if it's not the job, do something new now.
Right.
Become entrepreneurship. Like
now's the
invest
time.
in yourself however you can during this time.
Right.
Whether it's just start with a concept and bring it out. Really think it through and how you can apply it. That's what I'd encourage you.
You hit that key, man, because this is not a time to slumber right now. Just because we all, by ourselves, we have downtime.
Yeah.
Everybody has some type of artistry in themselves, right? A lot of times we don't get to invest in that because we busy, we working.
Right.
Okay, well,
not
people say, I haven't got a
chance.
chance to read. I don't really get a chance to read. I don't really get a chance to draw. I don't get a chance to sew clothes. Well, whatever your artistry is, man, you should be investing in that right now. Now you actually have time to sit there and find out about yourself, what you like, the music you like. You know what I mean? Like you said, it's hard for some people to sit by themselves and just in their own thoughts. But then you have some people like me, I like to sit by myself and have my own thoughts because then I'm not listening to everybody else's voice. I know what's going on with them.
I feel like there's definitely been times in my life where I wasn't ready to address the parts of my life that I wasn't complacent with. So because of that, it was easier for me to, fuck it, I'm just not going home like where I get off work and I don't have nothing to do before I even have the studio. I don't have nothing to do. I'm going to just go to the bar that's 2 blocks from my house and sit there and have a couple of drinks and talk with whoever's in there. There's literally no reason for me to do that outside of me not wanting to go home and just sit with myself. And I think that whether people realize it or not, a lot of people are doing similar things because somebody has to bring it to my attention. And at first I was in denial for months about that. Oh no, that's not the reason. That's just what I like to do. But no, realistically,
why
that's
do you
what
like
it
to
is.
do it? Yeah,
right.
There's a reason.
What exactly is it that you're running from?
Right.
And how do you tackle that head first? So you don't have to be running. Now is all you can focus on bettering yourself or getting down to the things that you like and or love, right? I'm playing video games too. I play RPGs, so like I'm like replaying Spider-Man right now, but it's dope because I got all my gadgets and shit. So after you beat it the first time, you get to replay. You get to replay from whatever level, like I'm on level 50 doing the first missions again, but I got all my gadgets, so a whole bunch of shit is like easier. Like 4 dudes running at me, I just drop a web bomb on their ass real quick.
To get back into that one.
Yeah, but I just say like, so what are you guys, like Smoke said he's playing sports games. I don't really play sports games, but I do want us to get to a point where we get to host some tournaments here.
Yeah.
That's something we've discussed in the past. Definitely want to do that. What are you guys playing?
I'm playing the Star Wars game.
That shit's hard. I did not finish it. I got stuck. At,
I'm
like,
at the
not
last-
stuck.
What is that, the Republic or something like that?
The Jedi Republic.
You ain't seen the newest one?
I don't have the newest one. Is that
The
the one you're
newest
talking
one,
about? I don't
yeah.
have that one yet,
It's-
but it looks dope.
Free roam. They
Fire.
built out the world. You get to
It's
hop on your
fire.
own ship
It's
and
fire.
I
then
might have to.
you get to
It's a lot of
upgrade
that.
your fucking
It's a lot of fun.
lightsaber.
Yeah, man. And then you
I
get
hate
the,
that it's only cosmetic though. The lightsaber upgrade.
Me too. But then I like the fact that you get the 2 eventually.
The double
you get
edge.
double
Yeah, I
edge,
never
you get
got
the double.
to.
Yeah, you get
That's
the
fire.
you get the double.
It's always been like that though.
I'm
They've
at the
never-
last. She's it's crazy. And I did the one.
Oh, shorty that you're
level-
chasing.
Yes.
You-
So
okay.
I'm at the level, and I chose the difficulty like before Master Jedi or whatever it is. Yo,
She's straight for you.
yo, she's like, it's ridiculous. I just stop. I'm like, fuck this. I'll come back
you're like,
fuck around and
to
get
this
mad.
later. Yeah, I'll come back to this later. But after this, I'm gonna go up there and whoop her ass
You
just
definitely
because
have
of
to
this
have patience
conversation.
putting it on that mode, 'cause I'm pretty sure you had to repeat it.
Oh, yeah.
A whole lot of
Multiple
patience.
times.
Oh, he still didn't beat it.
Yeah, that's why I'm still battling with it. Well, you know what happens too is like with the bosses I've had to fight them at least 25 times each.
And you're still trying to beat them?
Yeah, the last one I am. I'll probably hit her probably like 20 so far.
Now, see, little do you know, that's patience, man. You have patience. Some people don't. You know what I mean? They just want to, hey, man, I put this on easy. I just want to run through this real quick and get it over with.
It prompts me switch the difficult level. I'm like, no, I'm gonna beat this shit. I don't care how long.
That's
this
funny.
Is how I apply my life.
You getting your ass decreasing.
The game's basically like, hey, look, dog, do you want to see the end of this game or not?
I will when I choose to, damn it.
Right.
I will when I choose to see the end of it.
Yeah.
So it's like I keep just going halfway. You know, I'm halfway. I beat her halfway so far, and then she just scrapes my. She just does some random moves.
Your understanding of it will be greater though, because of the levels that you had to go through.
Well, the patterns. I start noticing patterns.
Yeah, you gotta know her moves, like when she's coming with
it's
what.
Dope.
Like,
it's dope. I'm dodging stuff I would have never dodged before just because I see the patterns that
I'm
she's
the
doing.
same way. I'm playing the new Dragon Ball Kakarot one.
Okay. Is it free roam?
Yeah, free roam.
Really?
I feel like they haven't done them better than Xenoverse, because I didn't like Xenoverse at all.
I loved Xenoverse just because like it was, the storyline was kind of cool. But
I'm decent at Dragon Ball Z.
This is the same storyline. You go from like Vegeta and Raditz and Nappa coming to Earth.
Pure savagery.
Right. All the way through Majin Buu.
That's
wow.
That's the entire Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. Wow. How long is the game?
Man, I'd say I'm about probably 50 hours of gaming in.
That's
right
what's
now.
up. Yeah, but are you garbage and it's a 30-hour game?
No, I mean I have been putting I raised the expert level, and so I'm not taking the person.
Yeah, they're gonna answer that. It's 50 hours of gameplay
right now, and I just started the Buu Saga. So
it's probably 60 hours of gameplay. Yeah.
But you got a shit ton of side missions, like you could pick up items and stuff like that. It's a really good game. The only thing you can't free roam is like when you go city to city, like you got to use a map and like kind of fast travel to it. Okay. But when you get to that location, like
you
that whole
do your
area,
own thing,
fly around.
How many cities can you?
I mean, they got all the locations. Like you visit Kami's lookout, you visit Korn, you go to Goku's house, you go to Capsule Corp. Like you're walking around inside.
So who are you in the game?
You play all the characters. So like at different points in the story mode, you switch off who you are between like Gohan, Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo. I don't think I've played as any of the other Z characters yet, but yeah. So it's like they got like 4 or 5 that you go through. It's dope. And Spider-Man. My kid loves that, so it's like he's learned how to change his own costume now. So like he'll go into the settings, change his own costume, and he's just like buzzing off that shit.
Yeah. As far as TV shows, what are you guys getting into right now? Since we got the downtown, I'm a binger, so like I'm on episode 7 of Ozark, season 3. That's I don't know if you guys have seen season 1 and 2 of Ozark.
I saw 1. I haven't seen 2, so I definitely got to catch up on it.
Have you seen Ozark at all? Neither of you?
No.
So Ozark is about Jason Bateman is a Chicago finance guy, and turns out he's money laundering for the cartel, very professionally. And then me too. And then within the first episode. You find out his partner at the firm is stealing from the cartel, which everybody knows is a terrible idea. Like, so he gets one last chance, boom, because it's like, it's the cartel. They don't give a fuck. You knew he was doing it. Proof. You knew. You knew. So he talks himself out the jam, but now he has to launder like quadruple what he was laundering before. So he moves down to like some shit, not in North Carolina. They might be in like Minnesota or some shit like that on some lake, and he becomes like an angel investor. But there's other people down there, like just like how there's governments everywhere. There's families in these small towns that have been running shit. And you can't just come up in here and think you're finna do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Right.
So all the shit that comes about because of that, and it just spirals so dope. I finished the show Outsiders that I talked to you guys about last week. That was good. That's a Stephen King novel they turned into a joint. Westworld, I still haven't started. I'm probably gonna start that tonight because my girl doesn't watch Westworld, so I could watch it without her. Tonight should be 3 episodes. You familiar with Westworld?
No.
a futuristic world based on a 1970s movie where they've gotten so advanced with robots, you can't tell the difference in robots and us unless you cut them open, basically.
Wow, that's deep.
So in this they build amusement parks, and in these little amusement parks, like you can shoot, I can shoot you, and it won't do nothing because we both humans. But right next to you is a robot, and I shoot him, and it blow his fucking head off.
Oh man!
And it looks real. It looks like you just clapped it. You could do whatever you want, like murder, kill, start a cult, ride horses, and fucking go rob a stagecoach. Whatever you could do in Red Dead Redemption, you could do in Westworld. But it's also about Anthony Hopkins as the main architect of this, creating. He's basically playing God.
Yeah.
And they're starting to gain consciousness because you killing this robot 1,000,000 times, and you got cache data in the back of his head, and that starts to create a personality with that cache data, even if you call yourself deleting it, like how we know nothing ever fully deletes.
Right.
So now y'all niggas playing God, killing them, raping them, doing all this stuff to these robots, and they're gaining consciousness.
Right.
Yeah.
Remembering all the terrible shit you're doing to them.
Sound like us.
And I think that's what it's a play on. I think it's a play on how we're actually living in this world. Everything is derivative, right? To me, it almost seems like. To me, it kind of seems like one of my favorite Bible stories that I just learned about maybe last year, the Tower of Babel, where all this civilization, everybody was speaking the same language, so they came together and they got a bone to pick with their creator. So they build this tower in order to get to the heavens, to pull it with their creator. And their creator is like, are you fucking serious right now?
Right.
Who do y'all think? The audacity.
Do you know?
And that's what's crazy, because the whole reason that they even happen is so he can get rid of evil and get rid of those false gods.
What shows are you guys watching right now? What are you guys checking out on TV? I told you guys about my shows. There's a handful of other shows I'm watching. I just finished Hunters. I told y'all about that.
Yeah.
Nazi Hunters in the 70s.
Nazi Hunters, yeah. I'm more of a documentary person. I don't watch too much TV. I like action if I'm watching anything. That's probably like Marvel movies or whatever. I'm into superheroes. But I don't watch too much TV. You know what I mean? I like...
you ever watch those prison documentaries? Like the world's most dangerous prisons and shit?
I've seen a few back in the day.
Those shits are... They got them on YouTube now for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Like they got the full joints. Those are like... Some of them South American and Pacific Island jails are...
I just hate seeing people locked up, so that's why it's kind of hard to sit there and watch. I think I'm more interested in just watching the animal kingdom, how they work, and how everything runs in a circle, how everybody needs each other, and that's what I've been looking at more. Like,
what's a good documentary for us to check out with animals, or like what are you checking them out on
the
YouTube?
Disney Channel was
Fire.
up, so they have
Disney
a lot
Plus.
of
Yeah.
National Geographic up.
I actually know a girl who works for them, and I think she agreed to do the podcast. I gotta re-talk to her.
They got a lot of good stuff on there. I noticed. They have a lot of Planet Earth stuff, a lot of
Propaganda.
dope.
No, I'm
I'm
joking.
Yeah, it's dope. Yeah, they got a lot of. I like seeing the animal kingdom too, because it's.
Everybody needs each other. One is doing, the other one needs. Like when I found out about sharks, right? Well, supposedly if you kill all the sharks, we would be dead too. You know what I mean? Because of the circle of life, right?
They kill a certain amount of animals that we need to be dead.
They eat the fish that eat the coral.
Oh, and we need the coral to go through that process.
Because it's just not the trees, if I'm not mistaken.
It's essentially like water photosynthesis and shit, right?
Right. So the sharks are in the balance of life. You know what I mean? So
everything here has a purpose, right?
Not only that, if you look at sharks and you see some of the videos, you'll find small animals that ride on their backs, so they can get to their destination.
I learned that in Magic School Bus.
Me too. I love that.
Like the muscles and shit. Yeah,
that's crazy,
cool, man.
That is cool.
So I talked to them about it, and maybe I'll finally get to use that footage. I got a chance to pet sharks when I was in Belize, right? And they're called nursing sharks or whatever. They're like the most domesticated. They're like essentially, I guess, fucking the squirrels of sharks. Wow. But they're still fucking sharks. Like 6 or 7 of them hungry, they get down on your ass. Yeah. Like they're still like this big, you know what I'm saying? Something this big takes a bite out of your ass, it's probably gonna
That's
hurt.
scary, but I don't want it to do anything. Yeah.
You just throw like a bucket of chum in the water, like it's a bucket with holes in it and fish guts on the inside, and then they eat that for a bit, and then they stick around because like
They're waiting for more food, man.
yeah, they like maybe this, maybe they're gonna give us
sharks are not really interested in eating humans. If anything, they're just trying to find out who was in my water. What are you doing? You know what I mean? If they smell blood, they'll attack.
Right, that makes sense. Like maybe because you got to figure we're like flesh, a lot of flesh, and then you might get a whole lot of fat. We don't even know that they want all that fucking fat. They might want lean meat. You know what I mean? Like they just might.
You think they look at like a person swimming? They're like, nah, that doesn't look like my type of meat.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That's
Like
not what I'm looking for.
Like
It's not
me,
It
plump
looks a
enough.
little more fatty on that one.
Like we look at a pork chop and we like, I don't even really eat pork like that, so I'm gonna just keep going. You know what I'm
Like, I
saying?
know what they're thinking.
Mind you, I had never had goat before, right? And I went over to this one lady's house and I get to eat, and I'm like, man, this.
African or Caribbean?
She was Haitian.
Okay.
And I ate the meat. I'm like, man, this is real good. I thought it was some beef or something like that. She's like, no, this goat. I'm like, what?
Was it curry?
Yeah, it was. It was
curry,
excellent.
it was
You know
fire,
what I mean?
wasn't it?
So
Yeah.
it was worth trying.
I feel like goat. And why is there a stigma on goat but not lamb? Isn't it damn near the same animal?
I don't know.
Somewhat.
I've ate a lot of lamb.
Yeah,
I can't say that I've had
kind
goat.
of. Yeah. I
They're
would say
like super similar. Yeah,
really
because you
similar.
guys had lambs, but I imagine if y'all didn't have lambs and y'all had goats, them exact same dishes
Yeah,
would
we
be
might
made
have
with
been,
goat.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Chavapi would have been beef and
I
goat.
think
instead of beef and lamb.
lambs are maybe more fatty, like more.
They are a little fatty, yeah.
more tender.
But you know what you
Think
do? You just get the
definitely
baby
tender.
Lamb
lambs
is more
because
tender.
they're not as fatty. So
The baby lamb. Is there like a word for it? Like veal is like baby cow.
man, I don't know the actual word in English.
You ever had veal?
No.
You know what? I used to buy it here and there, and then one time, like last summer, I bought some, and it just seems so fucked up to me because I know how they grow up in cages, blind, and fucking they never get to move, so they don't develop muscle, so it's super tender.
That's what made me not want to try it. I was like, what is veal? I kept hearing about veal, and then I kind of read about it. I'm like, I don't think I'm going to try it.
I think it has to have so much pain. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that when we eat these things that we choose to eat, like we were consuming whatever that thing was going through. Like if somebody eats me and I'm a cigarette smoker and an alcoholic, then you probably gonna get some carcinogens and
But that's true. You're not supposed to eat sick food. You're not supposed to eat sick meat. You know
Have you seen those videos with the pork with the cancer in it?
Oh man, years ago, my dad showed me.
Sick.
Oh man, I didn't want to see it at all. He was like, man, come check this video. I'm like, Dad, but I'm eating already. Man, come look at this. And it made me
That's
just,
nasty.
right there, I stopped eating pork like I was doing, man.
So that's a good place to bring up specific teachings, right? Because so many different religions, like we both don't eat pork. I don't know if Edwin eats pork. I know he's weaning
It's
himself
not
off
part
of
of
meat
my-
in general,
Yeah.
but I know with like my wife, she's Panamanian, Edwin's family's Colombian. I know pork can be heavy in their diets depending on what they choose to cook, like with a lot of Caribbean people as well. Black people with their soul food, it's heavy, right? Like I think outside of religion, you guys are like, only Muslim Europeans are the only ones that really don't eat pork, right?
I'd say that's true. Yeah. Well, I can't say 100%, but
Right, but by and large, culturally.
right.
Why do you think it is that religious books teach us not to eat pork? Because some people would just say, oh no, because back in the day they didn't know how to clean it. I personally don't think they were that primitive back in the day.
Well, I asked you this in the beginning. Do you know who the first garbage man was?
Pigs.
Exactly.
Pigs and shrimp, right?
So God made everything for everything, right? And in the beginning, they didn't have dump trucks and some where you're gonna send your food. That's what you got scavengers for. Right.
Pigs, vultures, shrimp.
They're gonna eat the bottom of the load, throw it to them, they're gonna eat it. That's why we're not supposed to consume it, because of the toxins that they did, the original garbage men. You know what I mean? It took me a while to get that. When I did, I'm like, why, man, ham tastes so good. I love pork chops, man. Then when I started understanding, like, all right, I get it now. You know what I mean?
Why eat a bottom feeder when it's a bottom feeder?
These are some of the reasons why we have high blood pressure and stuff like that, because we're not supposed to be consuming these things. It doesn't agree with our body. You know?
And that's crazy, because like a lot of like red meat, I could wean myself off of, like I don't need it. Shrimp, man.
I
That
love
one's
shrimp.
hard for me. Shrimp. I just went to Frank's
hard.
last night and got some pound and a half of fucking like fucking that shrimp.
jumbo
Oh
shrimp.
man, it's so fucking Frank's and Goose Island. But I know that. Let's talk about. Let's start a. Let's pause and break. Let's